welcome to the garden. Today we make this from that. I got my timber, my plans cut out. Bolts, washers, screws. These are pretty cool. They're for treated pine. My receipt. Ready to start work. I've already marked out all the pieces on these planks, and the first step is to cut them down to manageable lengths. This timber is H3 treated pine and was the best I could find. The plans specify 1x6s and 1x4 planks, but these sizes are just not available in Australia. So I decided to get 35mm thick planks so that the legs can have a bit extra thickness. And for the slats, I planed it down to the 1 inch so that the chairs look in proportion and not too heavy. I could have just knocked this out of 25mm planks and saved a bit of money there and not had to do the thicknessing step. If you don't have a thicknesser, 25mm thick or 1 inch planks are what you need. This is how you bypass the flesh sensing blade break. A couple of these planks were a little damp, so I decided to play it safe. Ironically, my hand is a little close to the blade there. Now, this is how you make a viral video. Chop your finger off with a saw-stop saw. About at this point in time, the size of the job is starting to dawn on me. These pieces are the slats or the front legs. I decided to cut these easiest pieces first for a quick win. That piece needed a sliver sliced off to square up the edge first. That T-guide fence sure makes it easy. If you look at any of my older videos, I ended up clamping a piece of wood to the table as the fence, and I've got to tell you, a total pain in the ass. I work this fast in my day job too. This is my seat slat, 1 inch thick and 5 per chair, 2 front legs per chair. Now on to the rest of the parts. I decided to deviate from the plans here and add a little step to fit the 30-degree slope for the backrest. But in the end, it didn't need it. I'll speed up through these cuts, and I'm just showing you half of them. Here, I wish I had made hard templates for some of these pieces and then used the router to cut out perfect replicas. Like the legs need to be perfectly identical. But I got around that another way later. These scraps look like an awful waste, but in the end, I used them to make a table, so I'm glad that I got oversized wood. These pieces are good enough and close enough to each other. The arms are pretty close, perhaps only a couple of millimetre out in spots, and you never tell. These are pretty good too, but they need to be perfect. My hand planes are my favourite woodworking tool. Can't make anything without them. So, what's your favourite or must-have woodworking tool? If these legs aren't identical, the seat won't be flat and straight. This back half of the arm is sawn to dimension. The front I've left as wide as possible. Instead of the 6-inch, I found some 190mm boards. That's about 7.5 inch, and I use that full width for the armrest. We want to be able to comfortably place a plate on the arm. This is another little deviation from the plans. I need that 30-degree angle cut, but decided to leave the ends square because it might make the chair look nicer. Now to chamfer all the edges that you can run your hands across. And I'm just doing a small 45-degree bevel. It's times like this that you wish that you had a router table. If you have one of these routers, you might want to know that they have an internal weakness. In an earlier video, and I'll link that in the description, I repair this and show you how to lower the risk of breaking it. Now this is another area that I decided to ad-lib the plans and make a curved front to the chair, but at this point I decided I don't like it. This is the easy bit, right? You place a template, drill the holes as input, but it's not quite that simple because I think that the holes in this template are slightly off, and this is how I adjusted for it. Okay, the first thing you want to do is make sure that the base legs are parallel, sitting flat. This piece here has to accommodate this front piece. So it has to be recessed a certain amount. And once you've done that, you can see that these holes are off the scale. I'll be drilling into nothing. So I've adjusted the template and drilled these legs with the 3 holes in exactly the same spot. All I need is a starting position and I've worked that out over here. I've measured and marked that hole position onto these pieces. Right, with that step done, this method ensures that the holes are tight and perfectly line up. I do a similar method for attaching knife handles. Basically, it just ensures that the holes line up perfectly, straight, and with no slop. We have 4 legs now, and the chair is starting to take shape. Let me show you how to get up to this point. These are the front pieces, and these holes are for the screws, so I don't split the wood. I have gone overboard with the number of screws, but these work out to 13 cents each, compared to 40 cents each if you get a smaller packet. You always need screws. The remainder will go into my hardware stock and probably end up fixing Mum's fence. I'm just making that side the same height as the other side. Yep, it's level. And square. This is where I'm up to. I've assembled the frame, and now I've done a dry fit of the arms, and I've come across a problem. The plans say cut this top edge upward at a 30-degree angle, and cut this top edge at 30-degree angle also. But this one doesn't mention anything. I thought that was a mistake because the slats go in at 30-degree angle, 30-degree angle. Surely that's a mistake. That needs to be 30-degree angle also, but apparently not. This edge needs to be straight. So my next step is to fix up this edge, screw on the arms, bolt them here, and then go from there. I've positioned the arm with even spacing all the way around and marked it. That one arm has cupped slightly, and I thought of planing it down thinner to straighten it, but decided to leave it. I've just put one screw in the front so the arm can pivot. And in the back, I've marked the 2 holes where I want the bolts to go through. And I've supported it with a slat. And at this point, I'll just secure this with 1 bolt as well. A big framing square checks that the arms are straight. Now I can lock in the other screws and bolts. Now to attach the middle back piece, you want to make sure it's in the centre and square. Because these screws are near the end of the board, I'm drilling a pilot hole to prevent splitting. That's the centre. And that's square. These side pieces I'm just evenly spacing. And that one needed a little bit of persuasion. I use this little stick as a push-up wedge to make the arms level. And here's a better shot how I did that. I worked out the width of that spacer off camera by planing down an offcut, and it was definitely worth the effort. On the home stretch. That is so satisfying to sit in the chair for the first time. Just like I bought one. This is a water-based finish for decks. It has a brown tint, and I'm using 4 coats on the top and 2 coats underneath the chair. I'm so glad that I bought oversized timber, because all those offcuts gave me enough material to make this. Instead of following a rigid set of plans, next week is going to be a ad-lib, work it out as you go, fun type construction. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I am enjoying sitting here in my brand new chairs in the garden. See you next week.